Hey guys, Kunal here, Bulls on Wall Street. Guys, I want to go through a topic that I get asked every single day from new traders and experienced traders. What are the trading tools that I use that actually help me make money? So there's a lot of tools out there. We subscribe to so much stuff today, right? I mean, it's just a little Apple Pay button these days to subscribe to anything in the world. But in specific to making trading profits, I have a handful of tools and beliefs that I think everybody needs to actually supercharge your profits. So there's three separate things that I think are really useful in the trading business to not only help you learn to trade and help accentuate your trades, but to really just make your life a little bit easier to save you time. So there's three aspects of this. Number one, I think you need an epic charting platform, something that allows you to do scanning, make watch lists, take notes, set alerts. This is gonna be like a total hub of all your trading needs on a technical basis. I use TC2000. I've been using this since I had hair like Bradley Cooper. It used to be called Telechart 2007. I've been using it since then they rebranded it to TC2000. This is my hub of everything I do. The cool thing about TC2000 is I have one layout, it's called main. It's got all my scans on here. And so I've got a scan here called Liquid Gainers. That's essentially a breakout scanner with expanding volume and a couple other features on it. And I'm able to skip through this and look through this at night to find the hot breakout setups, like what's got real heat. And TC2000 is really easy because you can just hit the space bar and flip through stocks. So I can flip through hundreds of stocks literally in like 20-30 minutes. Beyond that, it's really easy. If you hit F, all of a sudden it flags the stock and I gotta go on a different list on the same page. So on the left in this purple tab, I've got all the stocks that I'm watching for potential day trades and swing trades in the next day and the next week. Beyond that, I've got a news tab in here. So if a stock is gapping up, it'll tell me if it's got like an analyst upgrade, if it had earnings out, it'll give you a brief paragraph. Once you click it on what's actually happening within that news, I can take a brief read and then I know like, oh, is this fluff or not fluff? Beyond that, I've got a couple other scans here for stocks that are breaking down and one for stocks that are gapping up. So I make a list of stocks that are gapping up and it's got a running list on it so that I can see what the proper news plays are that fit my parameters. I'm looking for stocks that have 4% gap ups with minimum 100,000 shares in volume and then daily chart breakouts. So like something like this, like we see this coin today, right? It gapped up today because Bitcoin was flying around and it opens up at 73 bucks, right? And then it runs at $80 literally in the first 1 hour. These are the type of names that I want to be aware. So TC2000 allows me to find the news, then look at the chart, look at the technicals, and then arrange it so that on the watch list I have it and it's set. Beyond that, you have different layouts over here. Like you can see here, I've got myself a 6-window layout. So this 6-window layout is something that I would drag to another monitor, and it's got my top favorite 6 plays. Why that's important is that when you're running your scans, especially nighttime scans and morning scans, you can have an over elongated watch list. I like to narrow these down into 6 to 12, so I'll have 2 6-window layouts. I'll drag them to a monitor. I use 3 43-inch Dell monitors, and I'll drag them up so that I have an eye on them so that my list is really focused. So I love this about TC2000, having the ability to make my own layouts. And these are not preset layouts, like they have them, but I take them and I make them my own by adding different things on it. The second tool that I think is really important is having some type of news feed. Now, I'm not one of those guys that sits there and looks at the news scanner and then buys because a news piece hits. But what I want to do is just confirm stocks that are exhibiting earnings, stocks that are having upgrades, maybe stocks that are having investor conferences. Even as technical traders, it's still important to understand and know the news of what you're trading. You've got to know what you own. Benzinga is probably the most robust It's got the ability to look up like all sorts of data from short floats to charts, set alerts. You can put your own scanners in it, look up news, and then they have like a good algorithm in terms of like filtering news, so you can actually put in like what type of news you're interested in, and then it'll only show you that. Beyond that, I think is pretty cool. They have an earnings monitor. So right now we're not in earnings season, but when earnings season comes, that's when Alcoa hits, right? Alcoa is always the first major that has earnings. You will see this screen with like 50 to 100 that week. So you can filter it down and say like, what are the earnings out for today? And you can start to see like what stocks are having earnings. I'll put those all on a list, see which ones are gapping up and down that have hot breakout charts. I think that's really important. Also in a bull market, you want to be really aware of any stock that's got some type of earnings surprise. Any type of surprise right now to the upside is getting bought heavily and tends to break out stocks. And so Benzinga's got a nice layout for these kind of things. Beyond that, they've got an analyst rating monitor. So I can look up upgrades and downgrades on any single day. So like, I want to filter through and see if anybody's got an upgrade to say a buy rating, some type of price target increase. We've seen that type of move in the last few months. And once again, this is a bull market technique. Go nuts, right? And so stocks that have been getting upgrades have been flying. IONQ the other day, right? It broke out of the big long base and ran straight to 14 bucks on an upgrade. Last week, same type of deal. Had been pulling back for 5-6 days. It gets an upgrade, boom, it's off to the races. So knowing which stocks are getting upgraded, especially out of the well-known tech stocks, cult stocks, is really important. If Benzinga's a little bit too expensive for you, I totally understand that. There is a company called Trade Exchange. They're about $75 a month. I use these guys too. During the trading day, I actually keep these guys up because I like their news feed better. It's just clear. You don't have to do as many filters. They just give you the best stuff. And it's really timely. And they've also got like a nightly newsletter and a weekly newsletter that comes in. So you can come in here and click, and you'll see like they've got a week ahead button, and then they've got a newsletter. You get one in the morning, you get one at night. It'll list all the upgrades, downgrades. Is there a Fed speaker today? Is there any investor conferences? It's pretty succinct, and so you can go in on this and you'll see like you got a market wrap up over here, and it'll give you all like in just a succinct way, all the different manufacturing news, CPI news, whatever it is that might be that day. I think it's actually just pretty well laid out, and it's really good bang for the buck. Beyond that, in bull markets specifically, things like analyst upgrades and new contracts really do push stocks to stratospheric levels, and so it's really important to know what's going on. I just traded a stock the other day called U. It had a big upgrade, and next thing you know, it's off to the races. You can see this thing, it's pulling back to the 20 SMA on the dot, and then boom, it gets an upgrade, and next thing you know, it's breaking out its previous highs over the next couple days. So the third thing that I think that you need is some type of newsletter or just market summary. Even as technical traders, it's really important to know what's happening in the market. I personally, because I'm day trading most of the time or doing short-term swing trades, I get so zoomed in on what's happening by a day-to-day basis, what's happening on this piece of news, that piece of news, that oftentimes I can get biased against what's really happening in the big picture. We could sit there and think about the CPI and interest rates and all this stuff, and then we forget on the big picture, we're in this massive, once every 30 years type of bull market, and so it's important to kind of see all the different pieces of evidence in a different manner. I've been using the Kirk Report since I was in college. I still log in with my MSU EDU address, and it's been like a fantastic resource. He does every week a newsletter that summarizes the market, the sectors, all the different things that are going on. And then, he posts his own thoughts and things, but mainly is always focused in on price action and then past history of what the probabilities say could happen next. And I think that's really important because it's so easy to just get lost in our own thoughts. And it's important to really look at the price action from a different point of view. And I love the way that he just lays all this out. even though now that he's much older, and he was probably my age when he started this, and now he's almost retired, he's got a longer view of things and how he trades, and it just becomes really helpful. Oftentimes he's posting in charts and things of different sectors and different looks that I wasn't really looking at that. And he's always giving us measured moves and things like that. But beyond that, he posts a lot of cool stuff about trader development, things that are going to help traders get to the next level, along with his own thoughts on how we can use that data and these tools to get going on our own. For the price, I think it's like $400 a year or $300 a year. Like, it's just incredible, and you just get so much value out of this thing. Even if you don't use it necessarily to make trades, it's really important to get your head out of your butt and look at the market in a different way, especially in a holistic way, from a top-down approach, from sectors, markets, to individual thoughts, to minor things like your psychology, and keep narrowing it down, and he does a really good job of all that. So in summary, one charting platform that's non-negotiable. You need one. TrendSpider, TC2000, TradingView, it's all the same crap. TC2000 is the best because it looks the best and you have the most features, but whatever, right? The other ones are going to be okay. It's just a matter of what your personal feel is. Get one news scanner, and there's free ones out there. There's that Data1 guy on Twitter. There's a bunch of whole other ones that are free out there too, but you don't have the search capabilities you necessarily need to scan for specific earnings and analyst things. But hey, we do what we have to do. And then find yourself one newsletter, and there's so many out there too, but I love the Kirk Report. Another one that's a side one that I've used in the past is a Bespoke. Bespoke does great daily wrap-ups and weekly wrap-ups. You can use something like that too. It's a little bit more pricey at a couple $100s a month, but I think any of those would do. Guys, hopefully you learned something here. You need three things, right? Charting, news, newsletter, and the charting is the one that's non-negotiable. Smash that like button if you guys like what we're talking about, and let me know if you have any questions. Take care.